Hey, Paul, are you there? You're over at your parents' place right now, right? Could you get back over here right away?
Huh? Pardon me?
I think the baby is coming. I should head to the hospital. Could you drive me there right away?
No, can't do it.
Wait, what? Why not?
Would you just stop? I said no, for God's sakes.
Why do you just hang up? I said the baby is coming. I'm having contractions.
Stop bothering me. I'm not going to no hospital.
How could you say that, Paul? Do you realize what this means? If I don't go to the hospital right now, the baby will be in danger.
Just call a darn taxi. You can use your phone still, right?
Call a cab? Are you serious? It's your child that's about to be born. How could you even say that? Why are you being so cold? I can't do this alone. Paul, I need someone by my side.
Damn it, you don't give up, do you? I'm too busy to deal with you right now.
Don't tell me that Kathy is also having contractions. I remember her delivery date was about the same time as mine. I realize you're worried about your younger sister, but I'm in the same situation here, and you're my husband. Why do you ignore me and give priority to your younger sister? She's got her husband to look after her, doesn't she? Get your mom and dad to help out and work something out, would you? You don't all have to be over there. I mean, use common sense, Paul. This is nuts.
I said no way. Call a cab.
Paul, you stole my purse, didn't you?
Huh? What now?
I was getting ready to go to the hospital by cab and checked my bag, and my purse was nowhere to be found.
Oh, yeah. I was on my way to take Kathy to the hospital, and I realized I didn't have any money for a cab.
So you took my money? Are you serious?
Now, how the heck am I supposed to get to the hospital? Get this through your thick skull, Trish. I'm not going to the hospital for you. I made up my mind a long time ago that if Kathy's baby came the same time as yours, I would give her priority over you.
You cannot be serious.
What's wrong with giving your family members priority over a stranger? You had the gall to have your baby at the same time as her. You have no right to be griping on and on about this, so give it up.
Paul, I think I'm going into labor. The water.
Come on, Trish. Forget the cab. Just have the baby in the bathtub or something. Figure it out yourself. And Trish, don't make a mess.
Paul, Trish here. It was a boy. My neighbor, Carol, helped me out and took me to the hospital. I don't know what I would have done without her.
You have got to be kidding me. You had to impose on your neighbor?
I had no other choice. I had no money for a cab. I could hardly walk, for God's sake. Carol has kids, so she knows exactly how I felt and knew exactly what to do. Without her help, I don't know what would have happened. Once I'm back from the hospital, and if you have time, please thank her.
I can't believe you. We need to be on good terms with our neighbors. Don't go giving our neighbors a hard time, would you?
Hey, Paul, when are you coming to the hospital? I mean, you could at least pay one visit. I know you're all worried about your sister, but you're a father now. Don't you even want to see your son? As a father, that's the least you can do.
Sorry, but I just can't do that right now. Kathy wants me by her side. I just can't leave her. After giving birth, she's really drained of strength, not to mention her emotional state. No, I'm going to stick by her side until it gets better.
By the way, where the hell is Kathy's husband? Shouldn't he be there?
Pardon me?
I know she's there at your parents' place, but she lives just down the street. Shouldn't her husband be there by now? Shouldn't he be the one by her side?
Oh, yeah. Didn't I tell you? Guess not. She got divorced about a month ago.
Wait, what? She got divorced?
It seems that jerk was impotent, which meant that the kid wasn't his.
Am I hearing you right? That's crazy.
Well, it is what it is. So letting her have a kid all alone with nobody to rely on, it just seemed cruel, you know? As her big brother, I made up my mind to comfort her any way I could.
Hold on a second. I heard that Kathy was in the VIP room at this very hospital. Is that true?
Yeah, that's right. Don't go complaining that you had to stay in one of those rooms with several other patients. I'm not in the mood to hear that.
Relative to what you were saying, I sort of think that Kathy's husband would be demanding compensation for, it seems obvious. She's not exactly well off with that hanging over her head. How could she afford to stay in a VIP room?
Yeah, well, I paid for all that.
You cannot be serious, Paul. We can't afford to pay the hospital fee for 2 women? Are you nuts?
So you saying I should just dump on Kathy, huh? My little sister?
No, I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is that I wish you would have talked to me before making such a decision. Just think of our financial situation. There's no way we could afford to put her up in a VIP room.
Quit yapping on about what's already been done. What's the use? If you keep this crap up, Trish, I may even think about divorcing. You don't want that, do you?
Pardon me?
You're the one that's going to pay the price if that happens. You have no parents or siblings to fall back on.
That's a low blow, Paul. Even for you.
Anyway, why'd you even have to get pregnant? Just my little sister was plenty. We don't need any more kids in this world. This whole mess is all your fault. Why'd you have to go and get pregnant?
What you just said, I hope you don't regret it.
All the wife has to do is obey her husband. Can you at least do that? Kathy just woke up. Let's cut this short, shall we? See ya.
Hey Trish, how are you? Congratulations. Thanks for giving us a grandson.
Dad, wow, it's been so long. How have you been? Yeah, not bad.
Sorry to contact you out of the blue like this. I got your line ID from your friend Carol, your neighbor. Nice girl, by the way.
Yeah, she's great. She told me all about it. She's the one that got in contact with you, right?
Yes, that's right. It was by pure chance that I was told about your situation.
Chance?
You talked to Carol about me before, right?
Come to think of it, I did mention you when we were talking about family. You know, with the baby coming and all.
Well, she remembered my name and it apparently rang a bell, so she checked me out. And it turned out that I was the president of the company she was working for. She couldn't believe it at first, but she verified the family ties and got in contact me through the company intranet system.
Whoa, wait, back up. You're the president of a company now?
Yes, but it's only happened about 2 weeks ago. I'm really sorry I didn't contact you for so long. As you know, Mom and I divorced some time back. Fortunately, it was amicable. The main reason we got supported was basically because we were both workaholics, lol. After the divorce, I went overseas on business for almost 3 months, and we sort of lost touch. I didn't know she passed away until Carol told me about it. I felt terrible.
I see. I had no idea.
I really wish I was here. Maybe I should have stayed married to her, just separated.
You don't have to feel guilt over that. Mom knew how busy you were, and how much your work meant to you. Knowing Mom, that's probably why she didn't contact you. She's always sent me financial support through the years and insisted that I give you enough breathing space, so you can work to your heart's desire.
That's heartening to hear. Thanks for that, Trish. By the way, your husband, Paul, was it?
Huh? Yeah, that's right.
What do you plan on doing going forward?
Do? What do you mean?
I heard the whole situation from Carol, so you don't need to hold anything back. Tell me how you honestly feel.
Right. I suppose I'm leaning toward divorce. He gives his younger sister priority over me and the verbal abuse that I get. To be honest, I worry about our future together. Fortunately, I plan to return to work once I'm back on my feet. My company is pretty understanding when it comes to maternity leave. When I think about that, divorce seems the better option.
Okay, I understand. Then why don't we do this? Give me a bit of time to verify a few things.
Verify a few things? Like what?
When do you get released from the hospital?
Well, if all goes well, I should be out of here by next Wednesday.
Alright then. I'll contact you by then and we can work things out. Be patient, okay?
Not sure what you're up to, Dad, but yeah, okay.
Hey, Trish, are you there? Is that true about your dad? Is this some kind of joke? You never told me he was the president of that major corporation. Why didn't you mention this before we got married? How could you leave out such an important piece of information? Are you totally daft, Trish?
He contacted me just last week. It was the first time I heard he was the president of that company. I had no idea. He was working overseas for the past 3 months and just returned last week, and was promoted to president on his return.
If your father is the president of that major corporation, well, that means you're the daughter of a big shot. You're like a VIP or whatever.
Yeah, well, this only happened 2 weeks ago, so I was never a VIP or socialite or whatever.
But you are the daughter of a company president. That's a fact. What the hell is going on here? If I had known this earlier, I would have... This is not happening.
Hey, Paul, are you upset about something? You're acting real weird.
Yeah, I'm upset. How can I not be? Your father is a big investor in our company, and I mean one of the biggest.
Really, I didn't have a clue.
And his company is one of our top clients. One move, and he has the power to even bankrupt us.
Seriously, this is the first I'm hearing about this. You never mentioned your work stuff to me, so how would I know, right?
Apparently, your father contacted the president of my firm and wanted him to check out his employees. He eventually heard there was some sort of shenanigans going on. They found out that me and Kathy's work performance was, like, not up to par.
I'm just assuming here, but I bet you guys were forcing others to do your job and taking time off when you weren't permitted to.
Huh? Hold it a sec. Why do you know that?
Again, I'm just assuming, but considering your attitude toward everything, and this goes for your sister too, it just seemed like the logical thing you guys would do.
You sound like you're enjoying this. Like it's just some casual conversation or something. You realize that both Kathy and I have been transferred? And get this, we're not being transferred to the same location either.
Roger that. Don't go screwing up this time, Paul.
Roger, what? The hell do you think you are anyways? It was all your fault that we ended up in this predicament. What are you going to do about it? I went to your father's office and had a meeting with him. I got down on my hands and knees begging him to reconsider, but your father just ignored me. This whole thing wouldn't have happened if you had just told me about your father and not kept it a secret. How could you be so devious? If you'd only warned us, we'd have been able to be more careful at work.
Like I said, I haven't seen my dad in a while, and I only learned of this like 2 weeks ago. How am I supposed to tell you when I didn't even know? And for your information, I had no connection to your job. You never told me anything about where you and Kathy worked or what you did. Yeah, so maybe it was my father who checked up on your work performance. But it was you guys who abused your position. To me, it looks like you guys are the only ones that are ultimately responsible. Don't blame all this on me. And another thing, I plan to divorce you once and for all.
What? Wait, divorce?
My father introduced me to a lawyer, so he'll probably be paying you a visit sometime soon. So I would appreciate it if you would sign it.
Trish, come on. You don't want to do this.
In addition, I plan to demand compensation for emotional distress that you caused all these years, especially when our baby was born. Any court will rule in my favor. Oh, and I will be demanding the proper child support for our son. We mustn't forget that.
No, you can't do this. I have a lot on my plate now. I have to pay for Kathy's stuff, and getting pushed out and transferred to some branch office somewhere means a reduction in pay. Taking money from me now? Your timing is impeccable, Trish.
Take money, huh? Isn't that what you did to me when I went into labor? You stole my purse. Didn't you take money from me then? You left me there to suffer in pain because I had no money for a cab. If Carol hadn't been there to help, I could have died.
I need the money to take Kathy to the hospital. What can I say?
That's your problem, Paul. That behavior, that thought process, whatever you want to call it, that's what's screwed about you.
But the fact remains that I don't have any money.
Looks like this is going to go on into an endless loop, so let's cut it short.
But...
Oh yeah, one more thing. You and Kathy probably didn't realize this, but your mom and dad are both on my side with this.
Pardon me?
When Kathy went into labor, your folks went straight to the hospital with her, as any parent would. They only found out that I was all alone at the hospital was when they got home that night. They were furious for the way you acted towards your wife. They apologized profusely. Your mom was on the verge of tears. I ended up comforting her. They were overjoyed that I had reunited with my father and agreed to the divorce without complaint.
Are you really serious?
From now on, I want you to go through my lawyer. Anything you need, just contact them. Please don't contact me directly anymore. You got that, Paul?
Trish, you can't do this.
Goodbye. My son and I moved into my father's spacious condo downtown. On the day I was to be released from the hospital, my in-laws helped me escape without Paul or Kathy getting wind of it. They also helped in convincing Paul into agreeing to a one-time payment for damages and for child support. In return, I promised them that I would allow them to visit their grandson on occasion. I made sure I no longer had any contact with either Paul or his sister Kathy. I later heard that Kathy resigned from the company due to where she was being transferred to, and that she wanted to be with her brother. She blamed Paul for their downfall and insisted that her big brother take care of her as she stayed home with her child. That brother and sister relationship is a bit too bizarre for me. I heard the three of them went living at Paul's apartment somewhere up north. Most of the neighbors think that they are a family. I find it hard to believe that they even have any friends.
Gina, I need to talk to you about my mom's funeral.
Oh, sure, Anton. I just heard from your dad. We'll all be meeting up for drinks on Thursday the 5th, and the funeral itself is on Friday, right?
Yeah, that's right. Apparently we got pushed back a day because they're having some technical problems at the funeral parlor. So we're just gonna go for drinks on the 5th instead.
Right. It's also the busiest time of year for them right now, and I heard you sometimes have to wait over a week, so I guess we should count ourselves lucky they managed to fit us in the next day.
So, anyway, as for what I messaged you about, sorry, babe, but I'll be going to work today.
Huh? Work? I thought today was the start of your condolence leave. I thought you got a full week off for a parent.
I do. But I got a call from the hospital Mom was staying at while I was at work and had to rush off in a panic. I had to drop a particularly troublesome project I've been trying to get completed for ages, and now the office is in chaos with everyone trying to pick up the pieces. I didn't find anyone to take over for me, so I'm worried about how they're going to cope since everyone already has their own stuff to deal with. I'll never be able to have peace of mind with the thought of them all rushing around and having their schedules messed up on my behalf. So, I'm going to dash over and take care of it. Which means, and I'm sorry about this, babe, but I think I'll be sleeping at the office tonight.
I see.
I'll be home tomorrow night. I feel bad asking, but would you mind taking care of my pops in the house while I'm away?
I see. I guess you are in a difficult spot, and it's only natural you'd want to get back on top of everything to save your coworkers the trouble. I think your work ethic and sense of duty to your company are admirable.
I'm really sorry about the timing here, babe. I know it sucks, but we do have a little time before the funeral, and I seriously need to get this handled as soon as possible so things can get back to normal for everyone at the office and I can get a good night's sleep again.
Yeah, I get it. All right. Gina! Long time no see, girl! It's me, Nina! Do you remember me? Huh? Nina? Oh! By any chance, is this the Nina from my class in high school? Bingo! Anyway, let's get down to business. Tell me, Gina, where do you think I am right now? I'm sorry, Nina, but I don't have time to be messaging right now. I'll get in touch when things have settled down, okay? Ooh, get you, little Miss Diva. Looks like someone's in a grouch. No, it's not like that. Looks like I have no choice. Hey, Gina, it must really suck for you, huh? I can't believe it's your husband's day off, but he didn't even stay home to spend time with you. Day off? Sure, it's technically his day off. We don't have the luxury of spending time together right now. We're going through a difficult time. Ah, I see. Does that mean you saw this coming? Me stealing your husband Anton from you, that is. Huh? So, back to where we just left off. Where do you think I am right now, Gina? Go on. Tell me. I don't know, and I don't care. Jeez, you're no fun. Whatever, so be it. The truth is, I'm with Anton in the luxury hot spa resort in Gregsby Town. Quit joking around, I'm not in the mood. You wish I was joking. What the hell is this? We've been dating for a whole 2 years now. I think it's gonna be time for us to tie the knot soon. Yes. My big dream wedding is going to be amazing. 2 years? Does that mean you've had your claws in him ever since we started caring for his mom? You need to hurry up and divorce him so I can have him all to myself. Why would you be doing this now of all times? Listen to me, girl, and listen good. You think you're such hot shit, don't you? Did you think I forgot what a teacher's pet you were in school? You had no right to be getting grades that good despite coming from a single mother household. You even got into the best college in the state, and on a scholarship with a tuition fees exemption, no less. Ugh. It makes my blood boil just thinking about it. How can there be so much injustice in the world? You make me sick, you disgusting freeloader. Wait, is this why you... And that's not all. Anton's mom and dad were fiercely against the wedding when they found out you were raised by a single mom, weren't they? No, that was only his mom, actually. Sure, she might have been opposed to us being together, but his dad and little brother were perfectly fine with it. And actually, they were super supportive. We ended up going ahead with it in the end after Anton persuaded his mom to give us the go-ahead. Yep, I know. I didn't ask for an explanation, sweetie. You see, I already know the intimate details of your private life. Apparently, she only agreed to let you marry when he told her that you, coming from a broken family, meant you'd have nowhere to escape to, so she could treat you like her own personal slave. Did you know that's how Anton talks about you behind your back? Huh? Wait, what? Your mom got on board when she heard that, which is the only reason she finally agreed to the marriage. Didn't you think it was strange how she changed her mind all of a sudden? What is this? If you don't believe me, how about I send you the chat logs? I keep them in a special folder I check whenever I'm feeling bored and need to laugh. I see. I would like to confirm all this now, but I'm incredibly busy and it's not a good time. Listen, Nina, if you want me to divorce him, you're gonna need to send me a hell of a lot more proof than just a picture. Sure, I can do that. My family is rich, so if you charge us for compensation, we'll barely even notice. My mommy and daddy will be happy to pay any amount of money if it means securing their precious daughter's happiness. So it's evidence you want, huh? All right, prepare to receive mountains of the stuff. You're probably going to want to start crying when you see what I'm about to send, so be sure to take regular breaks in between looking and taking deep, big breaths.
Hey, Gina. You announced you were divorcing me at my mom's frickin' funeral? What the hell's gotten into you? I can't believe you shoved a set of divorce papers in my face and stormed out of the church while I was mourning my dead mom. I got quizzed and interrogated by my entire goddamn family because of you. Do you know how much embarrassment you've caused me? This is the most senseless, ridiculous, absurd thing I've ever heard of.
If I'm absurd, then what are you?
Excuse me? What have I done that's absurd?
How about you ask your girlfriend about it? You are just as bad as each other.
My girlfriend?
Nina Jenkins.
What?
I know all about how you guys met after you approached her at a bar, but apparently you didn't know she was my classmate back in high school.
Seriously? Wait. How do you know any of this?
She exposed your relationship to me herself. Tell me, Anton, when do you think she told me? It was the night of the first day of your condolence leave, when you told me you were going to the office.
What?
A luxury hot spa resort, huh? You must have been really broken up about your mom. Congrats, Anton. You just won the grand prize for being the world's biggest scumbag. I mean, please. Using your condolence leave to go on a seedy vacation with your lover behind your wife's back? Are you really in any position to say I'm acting senselessly?
Gina, well, Nina seemed so excited when she pitched the plan for the vacation to me that I couldn't refuse.
Really? Because based on what she told me, you offered to pay for the whole thing. Also, she thought it was just a regular vacation and didn't know anything about your mom.
Huh?
I don't know if it's because Nina's never had a single job in her life, but she didn't know what condolence leave meant when I told her the situation.
Wow, really?
I'm sure you can imagine how surprised I was to get a slew of gloating messages from your pea-brained lover about how she'd stolen you from me while I was making preparations for your mom's funeral and you pretended to be at work. You're reaching levels of absurdity previously thought impossible here, Anton. I guess trying to steal another woman's husband is pretty absurd in and of itself. I couldn't decide whether you were both as bad as each other. But when I stopped to think about it, I figured the guy who used his condolence leave to mourn his dead mother as an opportunity to go on a lover's hot spa retreat absolutely had to take the prize. You may have been cheating on me, and Princess Nina may have come at you all of a sudden begging for a vacation, but I might have actually been able to maintain the tiniest morsel of respect for you if you'd offered to reschedule for a later date, or just said no because you were mourning your mom. The fact that you still chose your lover's vacation in spite of everything you had going on shows me that you truly are a heartless lowlife with zero redeeming qualities. And that's the mild version of what I think you are. Believe me, I could say so much more, but then I figure, what's the point? It won't change anything, and you're not worth the energy.
Just shut up, woman. This ain't fair. You can't go pinning this all on me. You've done your fair share of wrong, too. You got up and stormed out like a little kid having a tantrum in the middle of my mom's frickin' funeral. I mean, seriously, shoving a set of divorce papers in my face in front of all those people? What in the heck do you think you're playing at? Surely you could have waited until after the funeral. Why did you have to go and embarrass me in front of everyone I know like that? You got some nerve to spit on my mom's memory by turning her funeral into an episode of Jerry Springer, and then act like you're some righteous hero of justice, and I'm the one in the wrong.
Right. Normally what I did would be downright unacceptable. But you see, Anton, your dad gave me his permission to do what I did at the funeral.
What? My dad?
Listen, your lover, Nina, tried to barge her way into our house this morning.
She did what now?
You didn't tell her about your mom, so she had no idea how busy I was with the funeral arrangements. She was so disappointed at how weak my reaction to finding out about the affair was after she'd been waiting so long in excitement to tell me about it. Between feeling let down by how few craps I gave about her and the fact that you hadn't been answering her calls and responding slowly to her messages lately, she reached her wits' end, flipped out, and drove over to the house in a rage. Her anger turned to confusion when she let herself in by the front door, only to find your dad sobbing alone in his mourning clothes, holding a photo of your mother in the kitchen. That's when the reality of the situation sunk in.
My dad?
Your dad's always had good instincts. Figuring something fishy was going on, instead of calling you, he called me immediately and asked me to come over. When I explained the situation to him, it became pretty obvious what had happened.
Are you serious?
That's not all. Your dad, livid with what you'd done, messaged the whole family and everyone set to attend the funeral with word of your affair.
He did what?
He told me I was free to leave the funeral at any time if the stress of everything all got to be too much for me. And to be honest, I was already at breaking point mentally and emotionally. So I took him up on his offer and left halfway through. As for the divorce papers, Nina brought them with her when she let herself into the house. All I did was sign them and hand them over to you.
Jesus Christ! This cannot be real. Where's Nina now?
She went home. I called her parents after she left and told them about what she'd done, so presumably they're surveilling her at their place now.
Gina?
Oh, and you'll be paying me compensation.
Compensation?
I'll be hiring a lawyer in a week or so once I've had the time to rest and get my mind in a better place.
You're gonna file for compensation from me while I'm still mourning my mom.
Somehow or other, Anton. I feel like using your condolence leave to go on vacation at a hot spa resort with your lover permanently disqualified you from using your mother's death as an excuse to get out of anything.
But...
I also have your dad's full support and backing, so I'm fully committed to doing this properly, and I promise I'll be taking you for everything I can. You better not try to escape. It's time to man up and face the consequences of your actions. Gina? Hello, are you there? What do you want? Well, I was kinda hoping we could discuss the whole thing with the compensation. I'll be hiring a lawyer over the coming days, so they'll be in contact with you, and we've decided on how much you owe me. Well, Gina, I was kinda hoping we could, forget about all this. Excuse me? Please, just think about this for a sec. I didn't know anything about Anton's mom dying, or you guys being in the middle of making the preparations for her funeral, right? If I had known, I would have never have done what I did when I did. In a sense, I'm a victim in all this too, because Anton lied to me. So yeah, can we just forget all this and move on? Let bygones be bygones and all that? You must be crazy if you think I'm just gonna forget about what you did to me. Sure, I acknowledge that Anton was in the wrong for not telling you about his mom or the funeral. Right? So why can't we just forget about it? Because Anton not filling you in on all the details about his mom and you stealing my husband from me are two completely separate issues. So the compensation is going full steam ahead. You'll be paying me a lot of money, Nina, so I suggest you start rummaging through your piggy bank. Oh my god. What the hell is wrong with you? Have you never heard of the word sympathy before? How about you try having a heart, you insensitive old bag? I have been researching legal stuff online, and I'm pretty sure this counts as Wait, what was it again? Extenuating circumstances. Extenuating circumstances? It counts as nothing of the sort, and you're tragically deluded if you think otherwise. In what way does not knowing about Anton's mom's funeral expunge you of guilt for the affair? Not only that, but an affair you intentionally plotted with glee to satisfy some pathetic grudge you held against me since back when we were in high school, and which you willfully and voluntarily sent me tons of evidence of to hurt me as much as possible. How could you think there is any way for you to get off the hook on this one? Well, Just listen to me. You don't know how difficult my situation is right now. I have always been more of a housework girl, so I haven't had many jobs and don't have much experience working. Correction, I think you mean you've never had any jobs. Just because Mommy and Daddy reached their wits' end with you sponging off them and refused to pay the compensation doesn't mean you're getting out of it. I can't do this, Gina. I am begging you. Please, try to understand. What, did you seriously think I was going to feel any pity for you because you're actually going to have to face the consequences of your actions yourself? Instead of being pulled out of yet another mess by the bank of Mommy and Daddy? But... Obviously not. I'm actually pleased it turned out this way. But I never thought this was gonna happen. Anyone who goes out of her way to steal another woman's husband should be prepared to lose everything. Gina! I'm not letting you off the hook, and I have zero sympathy for you. I have no intention of going easy on you in court. You will be paying me every cent of the compensation I charge you for. Oh my god! There's no way out this time. You made your bed, now lie in it. After moving out of the in-laws' house, my friend kindly let me stay with her for a while, and with that, I finally set to work on hiring a lawyer and kicking off the divorce proceedings. I was convinced Anton would try to resist me at every turn, but to my surprise, he decided to yield to my demands after receiving a stern talking to from his dad. A few days later, I received every cent of the compensation I asked for in one lump sum, and the divorce was finalized. To make matters worse for my wayward ex-husband, word of him using his condolence leave to go on a lover's vacation got out at his workplace, and he voluntarily resigned to avoid the shame of being fired at the request of his boss. Finally, he was disowned by his dad and kicked out of the house. As for Nina, his partner in crime, after paying me my compensation by taking out a huge loan, she too was disowned by her mom and dad and kicked out onto the streets with nothing but a few dollars and a suitcase with her belongings to her name. There's something kind of poetically romantic about the two lovers of our story getting disowned by their parents and made homeless at the same time, don't you think? Apparently, they started renting a crappy old beat-up apartment in the rough part of town, an area known for its major crackhead and prostitute problem. However, in a sweet irony, it turns out Anton and Nina weren't a very good match for each other after all. Apparently, they started getting into fierce arguments every day. And before long, the neighbors, sick of not being able to sleep, reported them to the landlord. It's looking like they're going to be thrown back out on the streets before the end of the month.